Hello, welcome back to GOT. Last time we did a drain test on all these phones you see here in front of me. Today, we are going to charge these up and see which one charges the faster. Go ahead and make your prediction now. Let's go. As I said in my last video, I did a drain test. It took me about 14 hours to drain all these things, but charging them up is going to be quite a bit faster. Let's get right to it. So you see here, I got all these phones plugged into the charger, and this is how it goes. You got 30 watts on the Pixel 10 Pro, 21 watts on the Pixel Fold, and then 30 watts on the iPhone 16 Pro, 40 on the 17 Pro, 45 watts on the S25 Ultra, 25 watts on the Z Fold 7, that's pretty slow, 80 watts on the Vivo X Fold 5, and then 66 watts on both Honor Magics. So they all have their own charger. Fortunately, with the Honor Magic, I only had one plugged in because I have two of these chargers, but they're not US chargers, and I had one adapter. I thought I bought two, but I could not find the second one. So I got the second Honor Magic actually plugged into a 20-watt charger, believe it or not, just one of the older Samsung chargers. So we're going to see how it does. I chose to do the Honor Magic V5 in the faster charger that it came with, just because it's the newest phone. So here we are going to reach the first checkpoint at 15 minutes to see how they do at 15 minutes charging. We start off with the Pixel 10 Pro at 27%. That's pretty good. And the Pixel 9 Pro Fold at 23%. Right behind it, that would be expected. And then the iPhone 16 at 12% and the 17 at 10%. Now that is not expected. I had expected the iPhone 17 Pro to be a little faster. So this is kind of surprising. The S25 Ultra at 36%, the Z Fold 7 at 28%. And then we've got the Vivo at 27%, which that surprised me. I thought it would be faster having that 80-watt charger. And then Honor Magic V5 at 43% and the V3 at 8%. And that's because it's hooked up to a slow charger. So, you know, it's unfortunate I didn't have two of them. But so far in the lead is the Honor Magic V5. So we get going again here. The next checkpoint is going to be at 30 minutes. And we're reaching that, and we got 53% on the Pixel 10 Pro, 44 on the 9 Pro Fold, iPhone 16, 23, 17, 20%. Look at that Samsung at 62% on the Ultra, 51% on the Z Fold, Vivo 52%, 77 on the Magic V5. That's incredible. 27% on the V3, so it's starting to speed up a little bit here. So that's not too bad. That Honor Magic is just leaving everybody in the dust. So let's go ahead and speed things up here and get to the next one. I'm impressed with the Honor so far. Clearly, it's going to finish first. What was that, your guess in the beginning? Which one do you think is going to finish second? We might as well start looking at second. I got to keep an eye on this Honor Magic V5 because it's going to finish up on me soon. And it looks like it finished up already at around 42 minutes. That's fast. And I went ahead and plugged it in now to the V3 so it can speed up its charging. And it's at 42%, believe it or not. 71 on the Vivo, 66 on that Samsung Z Fold 7, 81% on the S25 Ultra. That looks like it's going to be second place. 72% on the Pixel 10 Pro. That's pretty impressive. And then the two iPhones still kind of lagging in there behind. You know, their technology on charging has always been slow. And it agonizes me because fortunately they hold the battery, or they used to hold the charge all day long. So it's not an issue. But if you haven't seen my last test, you need to check that out on the draining the battery. So we'll keep going and see who's going to be next. As you see here, I did speed things up to make sure to get to the next one quickly. And I believe the next one is at 1 hour, and that is the Vivo X Fold 5, right at 1 hour. That's, 18 minutes slower than the Honor Magic V5. That's a 66-watt charger versus an 80-watt charger. I'd expect the Vivo to do faster, but the Vivo does have a little bit larger battery at 6,000 milliamps versus the 5820 on the Honor Magic V5. But still, I had expected Vivo to win out on this. Now we're at 82% on the Honor Magic V3 because it has that faster charger. So it's starting to catch up with the rest of them. Got 84% on the 10 Pro, 78% on the 9 Fold, and then we got 46 on the iPhone 16, 61 on the 17. And look at that. It looks like the next one that's going to finish is the Ultra at 93%. Right behind it is a Samsung Z Fold 7, which I'm surprised with, because usually that thing just agonizes me how long it takes to charge. So let's see what it does. But man, it's just unbelievable that Honor Magic at 42 minutes. All right, let's go see who's going to finish next. Okay, it looks like we got the Honor Magic V3 finished at an hour and 17 minutes. I put the asterisk on that because we know it would have finished a lot faster had it had the proper charger in the beginning. So just put the right charger on it. That thing charges fast. Samsung S25 Ultra at an hour and 17 minutes with its 45-watt charger. And I went ahead and decided to put a faster charger on the iPhone 17 Pro. Let's see if it speeds it up. It should really depart from the 16 even more, you would think, but they have that limit of 30-watt charging, so possibly not. And then you have the Pixel 9 Pro Fold at 91% and the Pixel 10 Pro at 94%. The 9 Fold is impressing me. It's charging a lot faster than you would think. Of course, it's got the smaller battery, a 4600 and what is it, 4680. But still, it's pretty impressive. Now, here we go as we keep going. Let's see who finishes next. Who do you think? Is it going to be the Samsung or is it going to be the Pixel Pro? We'll find out here. Sure. Oh, there we go. We got the Samsung Z Fold 7 just finished and the Pixel Pro. They both finished at an hour and 27 minutes. And we've got the Pixel Fold at 95%, the two iPhones 65 and 85 taking up the rear here. So I've decided to go ahead and plug in a faster charger in the iPhone 16 Pro because it does look like the iPhone 17 kind of sped up. Now, I had them on 30-watt chargers because that's what they said their charging was, but I put them on a little bit faster chargers. Let's see if they go faster. I did read into the fine print later and found out that the iPhone 17 supposedly charges faster with a 40-watt charger. So now it's on a 45-watt. Hopefully it's charging a little faster. At this point, we already know who the real winners were, and I don't really think it really would have mattered much putting a little bit faster charger on those. But it would have been nice if I had enough chargers to put those on. So now they're at 94 and 98. So it looks like the iPhone 16 Pro is catching up with the 17 Pro being on a faster charger. That's pretty interesting. You know, I'm kind of surprised with that. My ArmorGrid V5 is out of the game at the moment because I had to use it for a while. I'll put it back here on the table shortly. So now we're at 2 hours and 17 minutes, and we're still at 95% on the iPhone 16 Pro. And the iPhone 17 Pro finally finished up. It's at 100%. Took it 2 hours and 17, an hour longer than the Samsung S25 Ultra. Now, again, it might have done a little faster had I put it on a little bit faster charger. I think I actually did start that one out. I'll have to look back at the beginning here. So now finally, are we going to complete this with the iPhone 16 Pro at 2 hours and 35 minutes? That took an awful long time to charge up that iPhone 16 Pro. So as you can see here, who the clear winner is the Magic V5, and the clear ones that really agonize you over charging is the iPhone 16 and the 17. So here's the final results. We have that Honor Magic V5 first place at 42 minutes. So that is fast. And then we have the 1 hour on the Vivo X Fold 5, hour and 17 on the Honor Magic V3, tied up with the Samsung S25 Ultra. But again, we know we didn't start off with the proper charger on the V3. So I'm sure it probably would have at least got second place if it had the right charger. It might have actually been first place because it's a smaller battery. We don't know. Maybe at a later time I'll do an update and just put those things together and battle them. And now we have the Z Fold 7, hour and 27 minutes, along with the Pixel 10 Pro, and then the Pixel Fold at 2 hours and 11 minutes. That 45 minutes longer, 46 minutes longer than the Pixel 10 Pro. That's a huge difference. And then the two iPhones coming in over 2 hours, which is pretty pitiful. So there's the test. What did you think? Did your predictions come out? I actually thought the iPhones and expected them to do better. Maybe next time I'll put them on a faster charger and hopefully they'll they'll do better. I know I'm going to hear from a lot of you folks saying you should have put them in the faster charger at the beginning. You know what? I only have so many, but I did put them on the chargers that they were rated for, that came from the company. And then, of course, these are the results I got. So now it's time to hear from you. What did you expect? Go ahead and tell me what I did wrong, and in a future test, I'll fix that if I did something wrong. Now, if you haven't seen the drain test video where I drained all these batteries and it took 14 hours to do that, check out that video here. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos and tests. Until next time, have a wonderful day and God bless.